intimidation, and it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's not okay.
Tonight, former Jags kicker Josh Lambo is speaking to only one TV station, opening up to First Coast News about what he says was a toxic environment for him under head coach Urban Meyer, who he says intentionally kicked him during a practice after a preseason game in August.
That's right, Anthony, and I sat down tonight with Josh Lambo at his home. He told me that he decided to speak out now because of Coach Meyer's response Sunday when a reporter questioned Meyer about reports that he had called his coaches losers and had a heated argument with team captain Marvin Jones Jr.
He said if there is a source, that person's out of a job. Essentially, I don't remember the exact quote, but that was in essence what he said, and I don't think he can deny that. And that's what he did to me in August, and it's just unacceptable to intimidate people into your narrative. And now the reason for speaking up about it is because he's trying to shut everybody else up. And he tried to shut me up once. I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Josh Lambo says during a practice after a preseason game in August, Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer walked up to him, called him a vulgar name, and then kicked him while he was stretching.
He comes up to me and he says, "Hey, dip," another word, "make your effing kicks," and then proceeds to kick me right in the leg, right in the hamstring, and literally kicks me in the hamstring. No, "Hey bud, make your kicks." It wasn't one of those. It just wasn't. It was so much so I couldn't believe, and I looked at him. I said, "Don't you ever kick me again." So I'm the head ball coach. I'll kick you whenever I want.
The Jaguars released Lambo from the team in October. Lambo does not think he was released for retribution, but says the interaction he had with Coach Meyer impacted him mentally.
My observation of it was that he couldn't stand being challenged. His manhood, his whatever you want to call it, his pride and his ego was challenged, and he didn't have a response. And so he threatened me. He threatened my job, my livelihood. So how was I supposed to come out and say that in preseason? Like, I still need to make my money. I still need to make my living. And I didn't feel that I could have said that and kept my job.
How fit do you feel Coach Urban Meyer is to lead the Jaguars organization?
For me, I would say completely unfit. And that is my observation from what I saw day in and day out for a lot of months this year. The way that he treats the guys in the locker room, this pompous nature that he has, that he can get away with anything. I see myself as a Jaguar, and I certainly don't see him that way.
He had a lot to say tonight, and Lambo told me that he had his agent reach out to Jaguars legal counsel back in August, right after he says all of this happened. He says the organization never talked to him about it.
Sports anchor Mia O'Brien continues our team coverage tonight. And Mia, I know you actually reached out to the Jags today. What was their response?
Anthony, the team says the Jaguars legal counsel indeed acknowledged and responded immediately to the query made by Josh Lambo's agent Friday, August 27th. They say they offered to assist any way they could and that, quote, any suggestion otherwise is blatantly false. Urban Meyer said in a statement of his own that the characterization of him and this incident is inaccurate and that there are eyewitnesses to refute Lambo's account. So how did we get here? How did we go from Josh Lambo, the Jaguars' Walter Payton Man of the Year award nominee, to now the latest Jaguar to have had a, shall we say, spirited conversation with Urban Meyer? Let's begin with this. The Jaguars began spring workouts with two kickers, the 5-year incumbent Lambo and Aldrick Rosas. Lambo was coming off hip surgery, but by all accounts, it sure sounded like the new regime was equally interested in Rosas.
Does it seem weird that there is a competition between those guys when you consider how successful Lambo has been?
Well, I think it's what it is. It's a competition.
Kind of strange, considering Lambo is the most accurate kicker in Jaguars history, having only missed 4 field goals before this year, and Rosas was 8 of 11 with Jacksonville in 7 games last year. But we all said, whatever. Competition breeds success. That's what Urban keeps telling us. Plus, Rosas ended up being cut before training camp started, and it proved to be Lambo's job to lose anyways. Just like he does with quarterbacks, Meyer enjoys standing directly next to kickers as they kick in practice. Here's what Lambo had to say about that and his relationship with Meyer in his lone media availability of training camp on September 2nd.
No, that one's a bit new. We may have had a couple of conversations about it. I love his mindset of practice should be hard, games should be easy. So I understand why he did it. We talked about it.
So that was September 2nd, just days after Urban Meyer allegedly kicked Lambo in the leg. Lambo missed some kicks in the preseason, but finished 2 of 2 in the final preseason game on August 29th. Then came the regular season. Lambo missed a 55-yarder week 1 against the Texans, then 2 field goals week 2 against the Broncos. I asked him the Friday before the Cardinals game, September 24th, where his confidence was at.
I don't want to sit and dwell on what I haven't done. I want to think about what I'm going to do. And that's one thing that this coaching staff has helped me to stay focused on. And the only thing I'm concerned with is whatever kicks I get on Sunday, bang them through the uprights.
Well, Lambo didn't get the chance to kick any field goals that Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. But he missed 2 of 3 extra points, and that was the last we saw of him in a Jags uniform active on game day. The Jaguars signed Matthew Wright and made Lambo inactive the next 2 weeks. Lambo was released on October 19th. He spent a week with the Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad, but otherwise has not had a team. Of course, a lot of other things have happened between then and now, from the James Robinson benching to reports of Meyer and Marvin Jones's heated confrontation, as has unfortunately become the norm. Rookie quarterback Trevor Lawrence stepped up to address the unrest this afternoon, and this was prior to the Lambo report.
You're always going to have some form of drama. I've learned that even just the NFL is just more drama in general than college, no matter where you're at. But you're right. I mean, there's been a lot, and yeah, to your point, I do think that has to change, and that's something that we need to work on for sure. So you can't always be in the headlines. You just got to go play football, and that's where we're trying to get, and I have no doubt we'll get there.
Our full investigation on Josh Lambo's new allegations is posted in this story in the First Coast News app. Meyer had his Wednesday press conference this morning, but will not be available again until Friday. The Jaguars host the Texans on Sunday at 1.